You don't think that they've seen mischievous behavior,
Yes,
deceit? You don't think they've seen hardship? They've seen it all. But yet they continue to be together.
Why do you think that is?
Because they love each other. People always say, oh, you can fall in and out of love with somebody. Mm-hmm. Okay. If you have, let's just say this. Say, for instance, you have a pet. Mm-hmm. So you have a pet dog. You love that dog. But if that dog takes a dump on your carpet, do you love that dog any less because it took a dump on your carpet?
Mm. I'm still gonna love that dog.
You're still gonna love that dog.
I'm probably gonna cuss that dog out. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna be mad.
You're gonna be upset.
But I'm still gonna love my dog at the end of the day.
That's right.
Yes.
So a lot of things fail between people because right now, society, we have this thing where the internet has blown up. And there's so many distractions. That people are like, okay, well, this person isn't doing this for me. This person right here is showing me, these people are showing me 500 likes. Like they really adore me. No, they adore you for that moment. That moment. People live in moments. When you take your kids to an amusement park and they say, wow, I love this day. I love this moment. Could you imagine if your kid wanted to go to that amusement park every day after that? Would you still love that moment?
I don't know if I can still love that moment. No, I would. I still would love that moment because it's that moment that meant everything to me.
Exactly. So now instead of just having that moment, try and recreate the moment again. Not live that same moment. Try and work at doing it at another angle.
But how do you?
How do you? You have to know your mate. Little things about your mate you have to know. It shouldn't be shocking to you that, okay, if your mate loves Cracker Jacks and you can't stand it, that's what your mate loves. Go out of your way to get it. No matter what their little quirky, little weird things are, you have to keep it going. Keep working at it. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. And you're two different people. You were raised by two different families. Who said you had the greatest life growing up? Who said that person had the easiest life growing up? Just know that you're two different people that understand life two different ways. But you got to come together on one common plane, and which is love. If you truly love someone, then you'll go through whatever with that person. But then people get so worked up that someone offended them. But it goes back to the whole dog thing. If the dog take a dump on your carpet, you're going to be upset. You're going to clean it up. You're going to fuss. But then you're going to come back and say, hey, I do love Sparky or whatever his name is. You're two different people. Yeah. You're going to put up with so much. So much. Just be willing to know. I'm going to give you that same example. That dog's going to put you through so much. But you still love it.
Oh, yeah.
So why we can't do it for the same for each other? Human beings. Why we can't do that for each other? If you're a kid who is going to go to school and they're gonna do disruptive things in class, and they come home with a bad letter, are you going to be upset with your kid and not talk to your kid anymore?
Right.
No.
Right. No,
you're not. You're going to say, hey, I'm upset with you. Here's what I'm going to ask of you. You're going to go to school and this is how you're going to rectify the situation. Stop talking. Pay attention. And it's going to happen several times But you don't get upset with your kid. He's going to come home, hey, I was talking again, Mom, I'm sorry. Hey, I was talking again, Mom, I was talking again. But a person you love, you will do and deal with most anything. That's if you love them. If you allow someone to fall out of love, or you fall out of love with someone, it was something that caused that.
Well, speaking of that then, what would be the number one reason why you would lose your attraction towards a woman? What would be the number one reason?
Are you asking myself, or are you asking us in general?
I want both. I would ask you first, and then tell me in general.
Okay. Most times, people fall out of love with each other is many things that are superficial. And I say superficial to bring up this point. If you meet a woman and she's slim, petite, that's what you like, or however she's shaped, and you have 3 kids with her, and she gains weight having your children. Your children. Let that sit for a minute. She gave birth to your children. And if there's a way that she gained weight from having your children, and you really love her, why don't you help her? If she wants that, to help her. But self-esteem is a killer for anyone. I don't care who you are. I am one person that understands that self-esteem, even the person you think has everything, has some kind of self-esteem problem. Because there's something wrong, no matter how minute or how large it is, with everyone. You could be a fine person with bad breath. You can be someone that is most people would classify as not attractive and have the most beautiful personality and mannerism. People are so judgmental. You got to take the time to get to understand a person. But I don't want to. I'm going to digress. I'm going to get back to your point. But the main reason, like I said, most times are superficial things.
Right.
Superficial things. You know, when, like you say, you have the social media craze where you can Snapchat and you can do the filters and all that.
Right.
Yeah. Everyone wants a filter of everything. Create the pretty and everything. What about the raw?
Create the pretty.
You want to create the pretty and everything. Jazz everything up.
Like that.
And I hope to some degree that I answered or fulfilled what you were asking in your situation, because you're asking.
Well, you asked in general. Now, what would be the number one reason why you would lose attraction?
I honestly, I don't want it to sound corny, but it's very honest. I honestly mean, when I love someone, I love you. I love you. If I've said that 4-letter word to you, that is not a game. That's not a word to be toyed with.
Right.
If I say I love you, I love you. And I use that word on purpose. Period. So if we fall out of a relationship, most times I'm the person that's like, hey, look, we can work through anything. We can talk this out. We can work this out. But if you made up your mind, and I'm not going to do the whole gender thing, because when women can make up their mind and men can make up their mind. But we're speaking for myself in general.
Right.
If the woman has made up her mind that she wants to leave, she leaves. And I've been in situations in my life where people have left my life and understood that some years down the road, or some time down the road, they'd be like, hey, I see what it is that you were pushing me or wanting me to do, or wanting me to do to better myself. I understand now. And if only I had that time again.
Would you give him that second chance?
Who knows?
You just never know.
You never know. Because I deal with energy.
Good answer.
I deal with energy. I don't no matter what you have in your relationship, if it's rocky at this moment, people will always try and give you all kinds of advice to what you should do or what they shouldn't do. And they're not even living up to the same things that they're telling you. They just know they're cliche or they sound good. You should do this. You should do that. But no one really knows how much you love the person that they're telling that you should do this too.
So what's the biggest... What would you say would be the biggest mistakes that women make to kill their attraction? That kills that attraction, towards men. What would be the biggest mistake that women make? That kills your attraction towards that woman? What would be that biggest mistake? Because your answer may help, maybe kind of change. Because relationships, to be honest with you, Ronald, I've been talking about relationships past couple segments of my show, past couple episodes. I know that, and I get a lot of feedback from it, and because the advice is good for not only for women, but it's good for men. Right. So that's why I ask the questions that I ask on each episode, these different relationship questions, because it's a big deal for people these days.
Right. And the word I would say is strategy.
You think that's the biggest mistake?
No. The biggest mistake is people don't use strategy when in confrontation. And I say strategy because the person you're dealing with, if you know that person's a hothead and you come out and just start cursing and fussing, no one's listening. That person could tune you out. I'm not on here to say she did or he did. It's about strategy. And most of the time I speak of a situation where you got two people who want to be together, but something that they're not talking about or being honest about.
Because honesty is important, right?
And that's why I say strategy, because if you strategize, the honesty, the tone, the way you're saying things, the way you're conveying things, the way you talk about things. If it's too aggressive and the person you're dealing with, they're already angry, you're not listening to each other. So sometimes you take a step back and you strategize. I know if I say this way, it's going to get him or her angry. Let me say it in a calm voice. Because it's the two of you.
So do you think she's not being strategic?
No.
Enough? Or is it too much strategizing within the relationship?
It could be too much emotion on one part and not enough emotion on another end. So if you know the person you're dealing with, as I said, you have these people that grew up in two different lifestyles. So what if the man you're dealing with is a unemotional, not affectionate, or female, male or female, right? Right. What if they're unaffectionate? And you like, man, I wish this person would be a little bit more affectionate. You can't change a person. They have to change on their own. So these type of things, you got to be strategic. And women, you guys are very good at this. If there's a shirt that you want a man to wear, you don't say, hey, that looks terrible, unless he's willing to accept that. Because in his life, if his mother talked to him like that, then most chances are it'll work for you.
Right.
But if his mother, he wasn't around women that were out, just blatantly outright like, hey, that looks terrible. Maybe he doesn't have the charisma. Maybe he doesn't have the charm to say, hey, you know what? You picked that brown tie. But what about that blue one? That makes that shimmers in your eyes and it makes you look good. And that blue feels good. I'm a person, I love energy. You gotta have good energy. Or you could say pretty much like sapiosexual. Your intelligence means everything to me. Like, you have to get me. You know something I don't know.